Hi, I'm Regina.
I'm Diana. Nice to meet you.
You had a lot of passion with what you were talking about. Now, what is an open, what is it? Open?
Home rule.
Home rule. What is home rule?
There's a petition out there right now that if it goes to the voters, where they're forcing the DISD school board in New Jersey to create a charter to change the governance of DISD. They won't do anything about the nuts and bolts of teaching every day. The biggest concern that we have, there are two. One is that we're going from an elected board. Now, if you don't like the Board of Trustees, you can vote them out after 3 years.
I like elected.
But right now, they went from saying, well, we'll have an appointed board. Now it's going to be appointed and elected. Then it was supposed to be appointed by the mayor. Now they backtrack from that. They won't stay still on what it is they want. The issue with that is taxpayers have a direct line. You may not like what they vote on, but at least you can go and speak and you can do it. If it's an appointed board, we're not sure that the taxpayer's voice will be heard. The second major issue is, and they've said it out in the open.
Oh, Chantal, you need my key, honey.
Is she leaving?
It's in the trunk. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
The second thing they've talked about is Chapter 21. Chapter 21 of the Texas Education Code covers employment of teachers. And right now, under the Texas Education Code, I get a 1-year contract with the school board. That's who my contract is with. It's with the trustees. Right now, if I'm a bad teacher, they can write me up, they can try to fix me, and if I'm unfixable at the end of the year, they can non-renew me. They can fire teachers. I'm part of a teacher union. Believe me, they can fire teachers.
Because some people think
because we have no
we
have no tenure, we have no rights to our job, we have very few protections. If you look at the teacher contract, it's only a page and a half, and it ties us to the district. It doesn't tie them to us. They can still let us go for financial reasons. In other words, I'm a great teacher, but we have no more money, so we're letting you go. By making me an at-will employee, that means it frees me. I mean, I can be fired. I mean, you're my principal, you don't like me, you fire me on a Friday, I'm out of a job. But it also means that on a Monday, if I'm mad at you, I can just walk away. Right now, if I walked away from my job, I would lose my license to teach in the state of Texas. That's what they threatened last year. That is pulling our certification. If we become at-will employees, they can't touch us, which means, again, halfway through the year, your best teachers can be poached by another district, leaving your kids before a major test or a performance or a sport with a substitute. So there's no way you can plan. They give 3-year contracts.
Security. There's no.
Right. They give 3-year contracts to the supervisory staff, including the superintendent.
But not to the teachers.
But not to the teachers, because we're
So
not.
they think there's a validity to have it only on the administrative staff, but not necessarily.
And the thing that also we don't like is they keep saying, well, we don't know what the charter will say. We haven't written it yet, and we know that's not true, because we know people have told us that it has been written.
Even though the teachers cannot come in here, they can email the mayor and the city council.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can do what I did and take off a day, which is one of my personal days. And I mean, I have
Shut down the school.
Well, we can't. That's called an illegal work action in the state of Texas. We're not allowed to do that. We can't do union-like activities like that. We don't have collective bargaining. We have no right to strike. I mean, that's just Texas law. And we wouldn't do that to a school district because, see, here's the thing. If the superintendent broke his leg and was in the hospital for 6 weeks, the school district would go on.
Right.
If the trustees didn't meet for a month, they would do it. I'm out of my classroom 20 minutes. It could be chaos. I'm the most important person in the school building because I'm a classroom teacher. But they have also said that teaching will no longer be a profession of 20 to 30 years. That you peak at 7 years, and so after that you're just costing too much. They're trying to bring in right now pay for performance. They call it teacher effectiveness index. It's a pay for performance, which has never actually worked in any school district across the country. They're basing it on a thing called stacked ranking, which Bill Gates' company Microsoft actually tried with their own employees, and it was failing miserably. They had to stop it. It stopped innovation, collaboration, and development at Microsoft, but that's what they want to do with us. So instead of working as a team of teachers, I'm going to fight for my job over you, which means we won't share or work together. So loyalty to the kids in the district will pretty much go out the window.
The unity.
Right. What we need from the city, what we need from citizens is involvement. What we need is literally show up at our basketball games, come to our parent-teacher conferences, help us translate with parents. Our kids speak 68 different languages in their homes. It's not just Spanish. We have kids from all over the world. I teach kids right now from 7 to 9 different countries right now, from Middle East, Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America.
You're discriminating against Americans.
No, we're not discriminating against anyone. We're bringing them in. And that's the thing. My grandmother was an immigrant from Germany, so I understand my mother was first generation American, so I understand completely what these kids go through and from our family experience, and we bring them into the American dream. But the thing is, when
Who's
you
pushing
don't,
it?
they don't, well, the thing is, it's the same people. Well, we don't know totally. It's a 501c4. They could have gone C3, but they chose C4 so they could remain secret. One of the people behind it is John Arnold, a billionaire hedge fund investor who had worked for Enron, but jumped right before this company tanked. Interesting. We've heard of other people's names, but we can't confirm it because they are secretive under a 501c4.
What are they trying to say is their objective?
They're
How
saying,
are they selling it
that
on this level?
they're saying that the school board is ineffective the way it is, that the governance,
Okay.
they keep
It
using the
needs
word
help.
governance.
Okay.
Right, well, the thing is, sometimes city council's not, where no one's saying
Right.
revoke the charter and go
Right.
under home rule that.
That's right.
So you have a situation where they're telling the public one thing and they're doing another. They're calling it support our public schools, but they're not supporting our schools. They didn't even ask one teacher that we are aware of. Before this, they didn't contact Alliance, which is AFT. They didn't call ATBE. They didn't call the Dallas School Administrator Association. They didn't call NEA Dallas. Whether you like unions or not, we have no rights in Texas, so we're more of a professional organization. We can
Well,
tell them,
yeah,
we can
but
tell them all of our examples of things that we need help with. We
You
need
could give them help. Yeah, you could
Right.
help steer it.
What
Yeah.
helps, they use false.
they wanted real
use,
input.
they skew the information. They keep saying college readiness is 1,100 on the SAT when it's actually a 900 verbal and math, and they're saying that only 7% of our kids are college ready by their statistics, which is inaccurate, but at best, more than 7% or 11% of our kids are going to college when they graduate. Somehow, they also don't think that
They're using skewed data.
they're using
but-
SKU data to make it sound like we're an ultimate failure, and then
Right.
watch what they did. They put a big thing in there about Booker T. Washington. They put a big thing in there about Townview today. And so that is showing how dysfunctional we are. They also keep using the term we're a cookie cutter district. Well, that just shows you right there, Booker T. and Townview. I graduated from Skyline, the original magnet school in the country.
Yeah, I remember
There is
that.
no,
I was here then.
yeah, there's no cookie cutter
No.
in Dallas. What it is we're underfunded, understaffed, and underappreciated.
What is the best solution you have to tackle the city council?
Or
For
to tackle
this, what we want them to do is to stop the petition so it doesn't even go before the voters, because what it's going to do is distract.
Confuse the voters.
It's going to
See,
confuse
the voters,
it.
the
It's going to
voters right
distract
away all
people.
think, yeah, that school board, that
Yeah,
guy
everybody
got
wants
too
to
much money.
help.
All anybody ever gets is a little tidbit.
Well,
of,
when you have a
so,
shirt that
yeah.
says support our public schools, I mean, it's like saying mom and apple pie. Who's against our public
Right,
schools?
right.
But the problem is I caught them on another day off. I had to take off. And rarely do I do that. First time in 11 years.
Wow.
And what I ended up doing
Me
was
too.
taking
I
a day
know.
off, and I found them at the Lakewood Lakewood Post Office on federal property getting people to sign petitions, which is against the law.
Did you
They-
get a video?
I have still photographs of it, but the
Always
thing is,
get
though, I
video.
called the U.S. Postal Police and they
Oh,
took
good.
care of it.
That's good.
But the whole point is, they are not telling people accurate information. I'll just
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah.
And they'll probably get their signatures. It'll probably go before
You
the.
really think so? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because
Well,
it's
They'll
easy
pay
to get.
for it. They
Well,
can
they're
pay for
hiring
it.
people.
Professionally,
They're
they-
hiring
they
people
do.
with a bounty.
Yeah.
They hire them a certain
Yeah.
amount per day and about $1 or $2 per signature.
Yeah. Like sit
So they'll
outside
get
of
what they
Kroger, yeah.
want, but the
Okay.
problem is, again, it's going to cost, the DISD Board of Trustees is already voting to spend $250,000 of our tax money to hire lawyers to get legal advice on this. They're going to have to spend money to create the charter. They're going to spend time on it, and our staff in the schools are going to have to provide information as they create the charter. So this was not budgeted, by us, and this is not needed. The one trustee that seems connected to it the most is Mike Morath, who represents the Lakewood area. He seems to like this a lot, and he's supporting it. But even now, they're backtracking. They keep backing up. They keep changing their story. So they're saying there's a lot of pushback. The only good that's coming out of this is so far is people are finding out that there are people that don't want to listen to teachers, and they're starting to understand that it's up to us to tell the story of what's going on. Like I talked to that commercial real estate guy, what we need are jobs. When I was in high school, I worked at 15, and I worked at 16, and I worked at 17, and I
Sure.
worked
My
at 18.
daughter who spoke started working at 15
Right,
and 16.
but a lot of the places, not
Yeah.
to sound sexist, but if you really want to get a lot of these guys, the boys, who don't have fathers to be around a lot of men with good skills, hire them at Home Depot or
That's true.
Lowe's. They won't hire them until they're 18 because of liability issues, even though they could work a cashiering station, or they could water the
Yeah,
plants,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
haul stuff to your truck, whatever. But, what we need is a push in the city to hire our teenagers, because I teach sophomores, and once the kids turn 16 and they do get a job, their whole perspective changes because they discover a guy named FICA and they find out that their money is going towards taxes, and they understand, like working in McDonald's, they're going, people are pigs. They leave ketchup packets on the floor and they put gum in this thing. I said, yeah, just like y'all do in the cafeteria.
Right. It's
you
a
know,
different
and they work
respect.
at
They grow
Walmart
up.
and they work,
They
you
grow
know,
up.
and a lot of them have home, especially the immigrant kids, immigrant families, they work for their families.
That's true.
And they appreciate everything they
Why
get.
don't you invite her to come to
Yeah,
our
we
meeting?
have a meeting.
And that's
Can you
why
tell
we
them about it?
can
My
have
daughter
a
has my key.
group
I don't know
who
what
can
she
come
did.
to-
And I didn't.
I will stand by.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
She's not
Okay,
gonna walk.
Appreciate it.
Alice Linehan
Diane,
with
right?
Women
Yes,
on the Wall
Diane.
I know her.
was talking, she spoke at our meetings.
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you
They-
from?
We
they're
need to get
together on this?
her, no, we need to get her
Iran?
partnering
Oh,
with
I
her.
see.
This is one
I
of these
dated
issues.
an Iranian back in '79, right when all
Were
that
you happy
stuff
with
was
him?
He was a very nice man. He was Shiite Muslim, I'm Roman Catholic, so we weren't
Yeah,
going to get married. But
don't
he was,
worry about it. You
but
can
know
date
what?
me. I'm not Muslim.
You know what? Though? He was such a gentleman. His name
Yeah.
was Timur Chagini, but under Carter, when the hostages were taken, he was sent back. He was a naval officer.
Oh, wow.
I went to Texas A&M, and he was in the Corps of Cadets like I was, and we dated very casually. I mean, he was such a gentleman. He was so nice, and we had about
I was married to one for
yeah, we had
18
about
years.
20
Just
or
so you
30
know.
Iranians, and they were
They're
just
all nice,
they were the
yes.
best engineering students
Oh,
we
they
had
are.
at A&M.
They are. They're good
They're
guys.
great, but I
They're
never
good
after they went
family
back,
people.
we never heard from them again because of the Iraq War.
Yeah, I know.
So we never
It's
knew.
been
I would
crazy.
love to find out if he survived
Oh,
because
well,
he was
you
such a
might.
nice man. Well, I
On
don't know how to
Facebook
find
or
out.
something?
We don't have
Well,
good relations
we'll
with
connect.
Iran.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Well, that's not true.
No, I mean, for me as
I'm
a
peaceful.
as a civilian,
Right.
to try and contact
Right.
someone in the Islamic
That's
Republic of
true.
Iran, not
No,
good.
that ain't gonna happen. Well, we
No.
have meetings on
'Cause
every
I'm former
Monday.
military intelligence. It's not
Oh,
good.
That's
I was
true
in the army too.
Okay. Well, we meet every Monday. And
Who
we,
are y'all exactly?
Activists for Truth.
Do we have a
Activists for
card
Truth.
or a
no,
handout
I didn't
or
even bring my
anything?
person. I didn't want to have a
I
Yeah,
person.
I
have something
understand.
in the car. but-
Okay. But
Okay.
we meet at La Madeleine. It's right next to SMU. It's
Uh-huh.
right, you
I
know.
thought they were gonna
Mockingbird.
tear
on the
that
west
one
side.
down.
No, they have.
They haven't done it yet.
No.
Yeah, that little strip
It's one of the
shopping
first
center. I remember that
ones.
place. Yeah.
It's one of
But
the
I thought-
first
CVS
ones.
on the other end.
Yeah.
Every Monday at 7 o'clock we meet, and we bring a lot of issues forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'd like to speak at our next one
Do
at
you
8
have a
o'clock,
card?
Yeah, I certainly do.
you kind of expose what you're saying, and you know, John will have made maybe a DVD out of this.
And we had a
Well, you have to be
lady,
careful because of my employment. I have to be very careful
Oh, really?
about what
You
I
don't
do
want
as
it?
a teacher, even though
Okay.
I'm with the
Even though you're out there?
Even though I'm with the union, well, I have to be very careful
Yeah.
what I say and to whom I say it.
Well, that's-
because
that's
we are a
perfectly all
public
right.
employee, and I have to make sure that even that's
Brian
my
Adams
school.
High School. I'm going to be at Brian Adams, not this Friday, but next Friday for a bell competition or something. Are you going to be there?
Yes. Well, they're having the spring show.
Is that what a spring show?
Yeah,
Do
May
you ever
2nd.
go? I got
Yeah,
a $5
every year.
ticket. I'll see you because La Madeleine, the
Mm-hmm.
manager of La Madeleine, is a nice young lady. She's dancing with one of the servers.
Aw.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, that is so
That La
sweet.
Madeleine is like a family, and so I'm going because I'm part of their family. So
Well,
I'll
you'll see me there. I don't know which
Yeah.
night I'm going at because if you go
I'm
on
gonna go on
Friday night,
Friday.
we're exhausted from teaching all day.
Yeah,
and if you
I
go on
know.
Saturday night, that's
You
the
gotta
night.
come back
You gotta
again.
come back
It's-
in.
it's
So,
the day that
but I
you-
usually go on the Saturday night
Do
one
you?
because Friday night is I leave a spot open because the parents. That's when the parents usually
Oh,
come on the first night.
Really? What's the deal?
Yeah,
There-
but it's a really great school. It
It
really
is. I went to Brian Adams.
I taught there 14 years. If I didn't like it, I'd
in the
leave.
70s. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
there is an organization called womenonthewall.org. They have a focus on homeschooling, but they also focus on supporting public education as well.
We have to.
And this is an issue where you're going from elected officials to appointed.
That's what really concerns me.
that-
Because I live in Dallas. and
that is
that's my tax
something-
dollars, and I
Right.
really am. You know, I don't want appointed. And now they're backing off on who would appoint them. First they said it would be the mayor, and now they won't even
He probably
say.
doesn't want to have the
Well,
responsibility.
he went to a meeting with
Do you
some
have it on the
Hispanic people.
record?
What?
Did you document everything that they said?
What do you mean?
I mean, whatever they say.
Well,
that
he
they
was at a
said,
meeting of Hispanic. It was on Dallas
Did you
Observer.
document it?
No, I wasn't there, but the
mayor,
Dallas
he's saying
Observer.
the mayor was there and the
They
Dallas
recorded
Observer
it.
recorded
They
it.
yeah, they
Okay.
record. It's on the
What
Dallas
did the mayor
Observer.
say? Why
Well,
he's
he
not
got
doing
mad
it?
after about 9 minutes and walked out. That's when all this
The
started
mayor got
happening.
mad?
Yeah, the mayor got mad and
Why?
walked out. It's on the Dallas Observer because
Questions?
people were asking
Too
questions that
many
he couldn't
questions
answer.
that he couldn't answer.
Yeah. And when they had a public meeting at the Preston Royal Library, Councilmember Gates was there, and she seemed a little flustered too because, again, they keep saying they want to have a conversation, and they keep having a one-way thing. It was a 35-minute PowerPoint. That's not a conversation. And when a community activist was asking some questions, and he was getting a little bit heated because he's that way, one of the state reps who said, it's all about the teachers thing, he said, this is not a debate. And I yelled out, and that's when the cameras caught me. I said, but that's what democracy is a debate. You know, you're talking about changing the governance of an entity with 20,000 employees, 157,000 students, clients, parents, tax dollars of $1.6 billion a year. Yeah, you need to have a conversation. So if you want to have a conversation,
that's a great statement.
Quit having. Well, I was on Channel 8 and Channel 11.
Oh, that 20-second, 15
Oh, they
second.
video it?
Yeah, they videoed that, and I've been on
Awesome.
Channel 8 twice now, and on Channel 11, and it is it's very scary. That's why I was saying a lot of
What?
teachers don't come to these things because, one, we're teaching during the
I
day.
know.
Two, we have all this testing coming up. And one of the things, if you want us to have more time, that was one of the other things of the governance. They said, well, we can extend the calendar. You can extend the calendar right now in DISD by cutting out all the testing we do. We can't get away from the state mandated, but they make us have mock exams, and then we have to have
I've been
common
against that for
assessments
25
to get
years.
ready for common assessments
I
to
know.
get ready for the mock exams, and
You
mock
guys
exams
don't
to
get
get
to
ready for
teach
the real
anymore.
exam.
It's all about
Right.
testing. I know.
And if
I
my
hate
kid's an
that.
immigrant who
And
doesn't
that's what,
speak English,
that's
they
what
have even more tests.
This woman on the wall would say, it's not teaching the kids. It's
No,
crazy.
it's test prep,
Yeah,
and
that's all
so
it is.
that's why if you want
Numbers.
it, but when you go to the average Dallas DISD school board meeting, unless it's something really contentious, it's maybe 15 or 20 people show up,
Right.
and for some reason teachers are cowed into submission, into not being active because they are afraid of losing their jobs.
Sure.
And over the years, I've been very active, and I've paid a
gone
price
above
for
the
it. But that's
fray,
why I'm very
but-
careful. Well, I'm trying to be very careful
Yeah.
because I've had people come after me,
Yeah.
and I'm still
What
there.
they do to you?
Well, they make it known to people that I'm not wanted, but I'm still in the district because I'm a very good teacher. I'm
And you
still there,
have-
and I obey the law because I cannot speak for that school, I cannot speak for the district, I cannot speak for the superintendent, nor can I denigrate him or any of the other senior employees. My boss is above me, so I have to be very careful about what I say. So I have to
Wise.
be,
Being
and,
wise.
I have
Being wise.
well, not just wise, careful, because this
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
form of employment.
That's right. That's right.
And also, I'm
Well-
not out to insult people, and I'm trying to snap people's attention to what's going on. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's really good.
So
I'm
anyway,
proud of
but
you. That's what
contact,
we're
that's my
trying to
home
do,
phone
too.
number,
I've got it
my
in my
cell number and
pocket.
my email.
Okay.
So just
Okay, we'll
contact
talk
me if
more.
y'all need something.
Yeah.
Do you
It was
have
pleasure to
a
meet
Same
you.
here,
second
honey.
card by any chance? Do you
Oh,
have one
yeah,
more?
Get one, or if you want to keep it, I can give you the information. Okay.
Now I have.
And today, I don't know if you noticed, or you probably were thinking about your speech. It was my daughter that spoke about fluoride.
Yeah, I didn't know we were removing it from the water.
Well, the deal of it is it's been in for 48 years.
I know.
And-
That's why I have good teeth.
You think
Yeah.
so? Well, no, you probably have good teeth because you brush your teeth and you take care
Yeah,
of
but
them
not as
another
much as
way.
I should. But no,
But
I
the
think now
water-
with the
they've
availability of
proven it, though.
fluoride in the toothpaste now, but when I was
Yes.
growing up in the 60s, we didn't have that.
Uh-huh.
So the
Do you know
foundation
what
was
fluoride
good.
really
Yeah,
is?
yes.
What is it?
Fluoride, it's to help to strengthen the teeth.
No, it's a poison.
It is a
Look it
toxin.
up on Fluoride Alert
Okay,
and 50 reasons why you shouldn't have fluoride.
okay.
It was
Fluoride, if you go to a hardwood store and try to buy a mice poisoning, the only ingredient in it is sodium fluoride. That's what they're giving you.
see the deal of it is when they
It's a
first came
poison.
out with it. When they
It
first
will
came out
break
with
your
it.
bones, it
Yeah.
give you cancer.
It collects in your body.
It just
Topically, it's
cause
good.
all damages, but they brainwash everybody to this, and there is no evidence for 50 years research don't show any evidence that it does anything good for the teeth.
Is there a chance that they can remove it? They were talking about the cost savings,
Well,
but
see, the deal of it is there's a natural amount in the water anyway. It's almost 0.05, and they need to bring it up to 0.07 to be optimum. But the problem is optimum for who? Children are getting it, old people
Yeah.
are getting it. You know, you can do the concentration, but you can't
And they're
control the
putting now
dose.
drugs in the water too.
Yeah.
They're
So,
putting like lithium and things like that.
but we're not dealing with that. And like I told you once before, I don't know if I've seen documentation on lithium. I know they talked about
It
it.
was on the Power Hour.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
It
Well,
wasn't-
maybe
well,
I
when
should know,
people
but
throw
not
their pills down
necessarily
the
in
commode,
Dallas.
that gets
Yeah,
in there too.
It does go
So,
in there.
You know,
You're right. It goes
my
in
kids
the
are
water.
amazed. My kids are so naive. They don't realize that what goes in the toilet ends up in our water
But
system.
Some
would
things
you
can't be
remember
filtered out.
Fluoride Alert?
Okay.
And
Just go
put
look it
10
up.
reasons
Yeah,
why
I
not
wasn't
to have
aware that this
fluoride?
was an issue
A
until
lot
she
of
spoke
people-
this
50
morning.
reasons why not to have fluoride in the water.
Again, it
And
was
we're
good talking
talking-
to you.
This
I
is
gotta
all
get my
science.
timer